What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, January 31st, 2025, and it is the night before the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble. And now, we're going to get into some predictions for that show. Come with me into the predictions. All right, welcome in, everybody. It is great to have you guys back and in here. It's been a little over a week since I've posted, so it's going to be good to get into something, have something to talk about that isn't about the downfall of TikTok and American society, okay? Because we don't want to do that. We don't want to deal with that. But as always, before we get into that, let's do socials. Bang, right there, okay? Socials. We're going to do those first. TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, all the meta, maybe X. I don't know. I don't use it as frequently, and there are obviously now more reasons why. But sure. All of them are still posted up here. Bang, still right here. For you to go and like, follow, share, subscribe, interact with all the pages, all the channels, all the good stuff. Look for updates and all sorts of that. So that is the housekeeping as always. Bang, socials. My name is John. Bang, right there. And I am happy to have you guys here and along for the ride for this fairly quick video as we approach the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not gonna lie, when I always do a fair amount of research and stuff before doing predictions and stuff like that. I don't watch the shows as regularly. Like now I've started watching Raw because I have Netflix, so it's just easy to watch. But like I have YouTube TV, and for some reason SmackDown never syncs up with the correct time, so it always airs way after it airs. And WWE's pretty quick to trigger onto like TikTok and Facebook and such, so a lot of times it gets spoiled anyway. But I digress. I always go, generally for the premium live events, I go through like CBS so that I can see what the match card is and kind of get a grasp for what their predictions are. And not every time do we sync up where I'm like, oh yeah, I totally agree with that. It's definitely not always the case. But this time was, this pay-per-view is weird. This premium live event is weird. I can't tell you, like I have predictions. Okay, I went out on a limb and I picked people, but I don't feel the same way about the Rumble this year as I do every other year, where like you can kind of tell that there's somebody who they're focusing in on who could win the Royal Rumble. Like this year, there's a few people who it kind of breaks down towards, and then everything else just feels like it's probably not reality. And honestly, I feel that way kind of for both the men's and the women's Rumble. It's also fairly weird that there's like I think the men's Royal Rumble has 15 people who are committed to the Rumble. It's almost half of that currently for the women's, at least what they've released, to the public. And obviously they like to keep the surprise factor and all that, right? I totally get it. Um, but when you're going through that list, it makes it harder to choose who you think is going to win if there's no pointed direction. That's my opinion on that. So, with that said, this is a weird premium live event, and we're going to get into the matches right now. So, Let's start with DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the WWE Tag Team Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match. CBS predicts that DIY retains, and I agree. I think DIY retains the tag titles. The reason currently is fairly simplistic. I thought it was kind of shocking that the Machine Guns got the titles as quickly as they did anyway. It's fairly weird for WWE to put belts on outsiders on their way in. AJ Styles is a really good example where like he won the title within the first year, but it wasn't like his first match on the card. AJ is also a whole different beast when it comes to talent and likability, or even as a heel. Like he has it. You know, WWE and pro wrestling always talk about the it factor, and he's always had it. Um, but I was surprised at how quickly the Machine Guns got the belts to begin with. And DIY is now embracing a weird new heel persona, which is fantastic. I don't mind it at all. There's really nothing I have against the heel persona that is DIY currently. New for Gargano. Gargano generally doesn't play the heel card, but Tommaso absolutely has and is absolutely great as a heel. So I like none of that feels off to me. I think that this is going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a long match, and there's a reason I think it's going to be a long match. Okay, here's the reason, because this is what shocked me when I looked up the match card for tomorrow. There's 4 matches on the card. 2 of them are Royal Rumbles. Yeah, so they have to fill. I mean, generally pay-per-views are 3 hours long, 4 hours long. The Rumbles are going to each be an hour. Is kind of where that catch is they're always an hour minimum because of the time in between each entrant. So you're probably looking at a little bit over an hour. But yeah, then only 2 other matches on the card. One being this match for the World Tag Team titles, the other being the Undisputed WWE Championship match. So I think this match is going to go. I think they're going to get a solid 30 minutes out of it, and I think DIY ends up retaining. Give me DIY for the win. All right, let's get to the next match. That is going to be, I'm going to do the Undisputed WWE Championship match next, which is Cody Rhodes as champion versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match for the Undisputed WWE Championship. CBS says Cody Rhodes, and again, I'm going to go with him. I think Cody is going to win. I don't know that Cody should win, and this is not... Just before everybody thinks this is weird, like, I have the American Nine-Male Powerlifting belt, right? Okay. So I like Cody. I don't have anything against Cody. Kevin Owens probably deserves a title run here at some point, right? I feel very similarly about a lot of those guys who came out of NXT at the same time that he did. So like in the him and Balor, like these guys are kind of on a limited clock, I think, at this point. Like Finn hasn't been as prominently in as, you know, in previous times. Kind of in and out, really heavy in the tag scene. Not only just because he's with the Judgment Day, but he's always, you know, he's been in the tag title picture for a minute. But Kevin Owens is kind of that same thing where he just ends up being this half mid-card, half main event, where they like pull him up every once in a while to do the big match, but they never give him his flowers. CM Punk, I'm actually fairly certain, said tonight on SmackDown that Kevin Owens has lost 5 title matches at the Royal Rumble. Like, that's insane. And again, like, I'm not a huge Kevin Owens fan. Like, I was never an Owens fan. I wasn't an Owens fan in NXT. I'm not really an Owens fan now. I feel indifferently about Kevin Owens. But I just think, again, the clock is limited for these guys. So should Kevin Owens win this match and get a title run, Cody could pick the belt back up before Mania if that's like the route that needs to be taken. You could do that via, you know, Elimination Chamber. Like there are routes to get Cody the belt back if you absolutely had to do it. But I think Kevin Owens could hold the belt into Mania, and you could have a pretty cool match you know, for the world title with Kevin Owens. You could even do it with, Kevin and Sami Zayn. If Sami Zayn could pull off a Royal Rumble win, you could get Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. If Finn Balor returns and wins the Rumble, like some of these older NXT matchups would be barn burners to see again, if given the opportunity. But I think that the company, Paul Heyman's talked about it on like Impulsive and stuff like that. Like it's going to be Cody is the guy right now because he's the standard bearer of what the business sees as that guy, as the king of the mountain, right? He does all the appearances, he hugs, the babies, he signs the autographs, he does all the stuff. He's that guy. I think they want him to continue to be that guy, and that he will inevitably hold the belt till Mania so they can give him a calendar year with the belt. He's not going to get close to Roman Reigns' last title reign. He's not hitting 1,400 days. It's not going to happen. He loses the belt by WrestleMania, if not at WrestleMania. And they're going to try to put the belt somewhere else. Well, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And honestly, what it should probably come with is a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Because I think the American Nightmare as a heel would be a pretty cool thought process. But the company, again, likes that he's minding his P's and Q's and that he's doing exactly what the company would embrace out of a world champion. He's making it his 24-hour-a-day job, and he's representing the company as best as he possibly can. So I think that they will once again reward him for it with a win at the Royal Rumble to retain the undisputed WWE Championship. The Women's Royal Rumble. Let's get into the Women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to name off the very small list that is already locked in as entrants for the Royal Rumble. They're already declared. Io Sky, Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyria, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair. Those are who have already said that they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. It's a very small list. The men's is definitely longer by 5. So, and it's not, even that I think leaves a lot to be desired. CBS says Charlotte Flair, and again, I'm going to agree that it's going to be Charlotte Flair. There are catalysts for other options here, right? On that specific list, I don't feel that any of them are going to win if it's not Charlotte Flair. You could make arguments for Liv Morgan, but the story's getting old with her chasing Rhea. That's just boring and old now. Bianca Belair, again, you could make the pitch that she could make another Mania run. Fans seem to love her. I personally think she should have been a heel a long time ago. When the Street Profits were doing the heel thing, they should have, like the weird reboot Hurt Business, she should have been like the heel female in that group. She'd make a fucking fantastic heel, okay? In my opinion. So, that's just my opinion on that situation. I think it's going to be Charlotte. I've heard way too many smatterings about whether or not Alexa Bliss has re-signed, because I think we're kind of coming up on when she would have returned, and I think Alexa Bliss winning the Rumble would be incredible. I've always loved Alexa. So she'd be like one of my wild cards, is Alexa Bliss on the weird onset that she returns, even though there's like 30 articles out right now that says that she's probably not going to re-sign. Another wild card, I don't think that this is actually even a possibility. I don't think this is going to happen. I think the world wants it, but it's not going to happen. Is AJ Lee? I think people are obviously clamoring for AJ. They've been doing it ever since CM Punk came back. She was obviously a part of Heels, which is now on Netflix. It was originally on Stars. Which, if you guys haven't and you have Netflix, go check out Heels and like Heels. Like literally click the like button on Heels, because they won't make more seasons until Netflix shows that that show took off and that people want to see it. It's an amazing show, and the way they left it, like the end of season 2, because they only got 2 seasons, the cliffhanger is egregious, and they need to finish that. Even if it's just one more season, they need to finish that. So go do that. But like AJ Lee, everybody's like AJ's gonna be back. That music's gonna hit, and we're all gonna be excited. Like I don't know that she wants it, man. Like I just don't. I don't. Wouldn't she have done it somewhere else? Is kind of my question. If it was something that she was like, I want to wrestle. Like, I mean, CM Punk uprooted AEW, and she never did a thing there. She obviously has had opportunities for Impact, and which is now TNA again, and Ring of Honor. Like, they had all these opportunities, and she never did. So I don't think that she wants it. So AJ can go in the wild card category, but I do not think that's going to happen. I think the overall winner is going to be Charlotte Flair, because they made the egregiously awful mistake of advertising that she was going to be there. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Don't advertise that she's going to be there. Let there be some surprise still, and just let the music hit and Charlotte be there. Everybody is fine with that. Just do that. I don't know why. We had to do it this way. But Charlotte Flair, I think, is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She was gone essentially all of last year, so I think they're going to try to pick her up pretty quick and get her moving and back into the title picture as quickly as humanly possible. And then we're going to finish off with the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. I'm going to once again read off the list of entrants that we currently have. As of the time of this recording, this is also the same with the Women's Rumble. It's currently 8:45 p.m. Mountain Time. SmackDown is either still happening or just about to end. But this is the list as of CBS having it 30 minutes ago. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, Penta, Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, CM Punk, John Cena, LA Knight. That is the list of who is currently in the Royal Rumble. CBS had a split decision on this, and they went with CM Punk, or one of their analysts said Randy Orton. Look, I would love if Randy Orton would win another Rumble, right? Why not? I don't see where the story goes, except he obviously could do a decent promo, a decent build with Cody Rhodes, as they both were in Legacy. This could be a pretty good, run for an end of their story together. And we all know that Randy Orton is on borrowed time. That days are dramatically numbered for his career coming off the big injury. It would be cool. That's what I'll say. But I don't necessarily believe that to be a thing. I agree with one of the picks. One of the people who I think is CM Punk. I feel weird about the Men's Rumble this year. I don't know that there's like a front runner, because they keep kind of shifting this stuff around. Where you CM Punk, John Cena could win and just have a paid ticket to WrestleMania. Like all this, like this kind of stuff, right? I think it'll be CM Punk, and the reason I think it'll be CM Punk is going to be because he was supposed to win it last year and he got hurt. I think that they're going to try to jam that down our throats and make sure that they get every dime that they can get out of CM Punk. That's what I think about that. There are wild cards, similarly to the other one. Somebody who I also think could win the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre. Drew would have a pretty good story going to Mania, and it would give him an opportunity to actually win the title for longer than 9 seconds at WrestleMania, which, again, putting the title on some of these guys before it's too late is very important, and I think that he's, again, kind of near, you could argue, near the end of his run. So he could have the belt. John Cena, I don't think, like, look, guys, I don't think he's going to win it. If he did win it, it would feel fake. Like, wrestling is obviously predetermined, right? But he's not in the same shape that he was. There are some intense athletes in here right now. I mean, just Braun Breaker. Like I just don't think like John Cena's not physically better right now than a lot of these guys, if any of them. Um, so I don't think Cena does it that way. He's obviously said something already about possibly doing the Elimination Chamber. If he's doing the Elimination Chamber, you'd probably argue that he's not going to win the Royal Rumble because there's no reason to do both. Um, I think he fights for a title regardless this year to try to get to breaking Ric Flair's record. I think that they should do that. I don't think that they will. Current WWE management, particularly Triple H and Shawn Michaels, are still Ric Flair guys. I like. It's going to take a while, I think, for that record to be broken entirely. And to be honest, Cena should be who does it. He was the next guy, like the big next guy, and it will shock me if he wins. If he wins the Rumble or the title, I don't think either of those things are going to happen. Some personal wild cards: Finn Balor. I would love to see Finn Balor win the Rumble and get an opportunity to go to Mania for the world title. He really, he's the inaugural Universal Champion, and due to injury, he surrendered it 24 hours later and has never, ever gotten a fair shtick at getting that belt back ever again. Undeniable talent, a stand-up guy from what I've heard. Finn Balor deserves it. He should absolutely have a shot at it. The other wild card, I'm a Roman guy and I'd love for Roman to win. He's not going to win. I would love for Bo Dallas to win the Royal Rumble. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen. I would love for Howdy to win the Rumble and just put some validity into the story. Because I think WWE has arguably made this one of the biggest misses that they could have. Bray Wyatt was telling an absolute story when he came back, including his brother was there and they were gonna do this thing, right? They were both gonna be monsters. You could have lumped in the 6 because they were gonna, those things were on the table. And now without somebody there to literally guide them through it, it's just fallen so flat. Some of their matches have been alright, but it's just not what you want out of the Wyatt 6. I think Bo winning builds some validity, puts him into the main spotlight, puts him as the guy who's going to go to Mania. And you get a lot of cool tricks and Bray Wyatt-esque things, the mind games, if you let Bo pick up a win. I don't think it happens. I think CM Punk wins it all. CM Punk is my official prediction. And again, if Finn wins, not sad. If Drew wins, that's fine. Bo wins, ecstatic, happy for him. I would love for Roman to win. It's not going to happen. Roman, I think, is not going to be in those types of stories for a hot second. Yeah. So there you go. That's my 2025 Royal Rumble picks. Again, DIY retains, Cody retains, Charlotte Flair wins the Women's Rumble, and CM Punk wins the Men's Rumble with obviously various wild cards. But that is my official predictions for the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble right here. Bang. These are the socials. Go check them out. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the stuff. Hit the bell button. Subscribe to this channel for more content like this. I will do a follow-up video after the Royal Rumble to give my thoughts on the entire event. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. And remember to do more than simply exist and come with me to the 2025 WWE Royal Rumble because the road to WrestleMania starts now.